Earlier this evening, a very good friend of mine, you guys all know her, Jennifer Hammonds, contacted me and told me that someone was talking about the Fitzgerald and the McCain. Normally, I would be very excited that somebody would choose to step up and honor the sailors, because that's why we're here, to get justice for the sailors. Lo, 2 days passed, we had the father of one of these heroes talking about wanting justice for his son. And I want to be very careful how I speak here. This particular event that happened is anything but honoring the sailors. This is, of course, InfoWars, and on the right is allegedly this super secret source, just going by Zach, who all of a sudden now has come across some new intelligence that is breaking, and you need to hear this.
To change the subject each time they keep cycle.
100%. And you notice when I was on with you on Wednesday, we spoke about the failed missile test and the false flag there. Well, look, actually, I got a lot of flack for talking about that, and I was kind of advised to sort of stay off certain things, but there's nothing problematic. This is public information, and I'm not going to be threatened or thrown off by anything if it's going to make my life a little bit uncomfortable. Listen, when we moved, people need to know this right now, and they can start Googling, they can pick this stuff up. Just Google Chinese mind warfare. This is Chinese deep state and rogue U.S. globalist forces. There's false flags.
By the way, let me stop you. That's not even hidden. The Chinese dictator came to Davos a year ago and said, "I will save you," and they're admittedly funding everything after the Saudis got cut off, and they are engaged in all this domestically.
So we have, we see the major fleet of Navy destroyers make their way to the Pacific last year. And what happens last year? We have the USS Fitzgerald and the USS John McCain both get attacked. They say it's just operator error. They got ran into. There's sailors dead. Special operators dead. There's people that we didn't know what happened. There must be a radar issue. Wrong. Look this up. This is Chinese mind warfare, not the official Chinese government. Just like here, the deep state Chinese government using EMP mines underwater to completely make those.
Well, it's up to 6 ships now that get totally blacked out, and then they use a Chinese freighter to ram it, right?
Well, yeah, they have. How can this be? How come you couldn't see it coming? Because they lost all power. How can they lose all power? EMP mines being used underground. The ship goes dark, and they have another ship. Well,
by the way, all the experts agree. There's no way these ships are doing this with all the satellites and all the radar. It's just crazy. And you notice we've got our military there. We know they got the satellite killers, all of it. What a crazy time that the Democrats and everybody else are allied with the Communist Chinese, as if that's going to save them.
The law, and on the Fitzgerald in particular, and McCain has some capability, but on the Fitzgerald, you have the Law's laser weapon system, which is anti-missile on the actual deck there. But, we talked about it on Wednesday, and now this is coming out. What's this guy talking about torpedoes? Look what CNN, and people can pull this up right now.
Listen, I've got the young man that was at...
Okay, we're going to stop there before I throw up. Clearly, this particular person has just come to the Florida Maquis, glossed over a few of my videos, and now all of a sudden is going to break this on InfoWars as if it's something that's new. And in case anybody wants to, in order, see this. Alright, here is my video page. Going from, and this is most viewed, so this is how somebody like this would do it if they were pretending to be some intelligence analyst or whatever bullshit thing they call him. Alright. The top two here, let's see. The number 4 video, of course, is the one we just did, about the ICM missile. He talks about that. Okay, that was recent. June 19th of last year. Confirmed, Chinese attack Fitzgerald at war with U.S. Here's the Law's laser system, June 29th. Here's July 22nd, the naval laser system. Now, to go through the list here would be hard, but this one is July 12th. Chinese EMP, U.S. Navy powerless, Florida Maquis. Chinese EMP attack, U.S. Navy has a huge problem. June 18th. June 18th. 1 day after the Fitzgerald, the Florida Maquis did this video. U.S. Navy crippled by high-tech Chinese mine warfare. This is the 25th of July. China claims sovereignty. U.S. Navy warned Fitzgerald disabled. June 22nd. Clear evidence of sea mine damage. Japan coastal waters unsafe. July 26th. Minefield. Entire world voids Fitzgerald Crystal shipping lane. July 30th. Now, to go back to the one that we did the day after, I'm going to go ahead and play this for you and tell me if you hear something in here that might make you wonder.
I just wanted to cover this in a little more detail.
I'm going to speed this up because
collision with
speaking slow.
The U.S. Navy destroyer and the container ship, the ACX Crystal. What would have to occur for this to happen would be negligence on the part of both crews simultaneously. Because what we saw here was the ship, I mean, based on what I'm looking at, the damage here, clearly the container ship hit the destroyer, not the other way around. So, if it had been where the destroyer had sailed into the cargo ship, you could say that perhaps the people in the cargo ship were doing exactly what they were supposed to do, and the guys on board the destroyer just dropped the ball and sailed into the side of it. But that's not what happened here. Not only did the people on the container ship have a ship in front of them they didn't know they were going to collide with, the people on the U.S. Navy destroyer didn't see the enormous 29,000-ton, 700-foot-long, 10-story tall container ship off to its starboard for what would have had to have been at least a half a mile. And I don't care if it was at night, there's just something that stinks about this. You know, and there's two other, they mentioned in another article, there's two other occasions over there in the Sea of Japan where there's been issues with U.S. military ships. One was where a ship bumped another one in harbor, and the other one was where the wind blew, about 30 knot wind apparently blew a ship off its anchorage, and it drug it into shallow water. But this is an entirely different thing. You know, there's another article, I should have put them both up here, but where a guy was talking about how this happens fairly regularly, how there's these incidents all the time. The vast majority of those incidents happen in port, where ships are already within just a few dozen feet of each other and trying to jockey around for position, and things bump into each other, and big ships hit little ships, and this happens. But this is the equivalent of hitting a bullet with a missile or vice versa. 50 miles out to sea, for two ships to have been on that collision course for that long, and to have had absolutely no warning and no reaction whatsoever. From those container ships, those things sit way, way, way up off the water, and you can see ships for miles. The horizon from the deck of not from the deck, but from the bridge of a container ship, my goodness, must be at least 20 miles. Just doing ballpark figures on the distance to horizon at sea level is 3 miles, and that's 6 feet above the water. And then you just take it out from there. There's just the idea of this happening by accident. If this was two container ships, perhaps, you know, because this, you know, container ships are crewed by people that, I don't say they're bad people, but they're not U.S. Navy sailors.
Just hang in there with me, folks.
And U.S. Navy sailors and U.S. warships are not civilian ships. These things have all sorts of electronic, state-of-the-art. This is an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer. There's no way this thing didn't know that ship was there. And that it just ambled out in front of it. Something's weird, folks. Something is really, really weird about this. And when you look at this damage, I'll tell you, if this was something that was nefarious, I'll bet you there's some folks out there right now that are wetting their pants. Because they just succeeded in sailing a 29,000-ton ship into the side of one of our smaller warships. And it didn't sink it. It dented it, and it made it flounder for a little bit, but they got it upright, and it's under its own power. And if that's what a 29,000-ton container ship does to just a little itty-bitty 6,800-ton destroyer, what do you think it would take to sink a 100,000-ton aircraft carrier? Is there a ship in the world? I mean, honestly, God, if this thing had sailed out in front of an aircraft carrier, the aircraft carrier probably would have plowed right over the top of it and not even known. I mean, kudos to the U.S. Navy for building ships this over-engineered. But if there are folks out there that are messing with these satellites and messing with this GPS, they're going to do an investigation of this. And I'm guaranteeing they're going to, if they find out what I think they're going to find out, they're going to bury it. Or they're going to come out with some bullshit story about what happened here. Because even if that vessel thought it was a mile away from where it actually was, which wouldn't be that much in the terms of GPS, to have something report 1 mile off. Or if it was being told that it was moving at a certain speed and it was actually moving at a different speed. Because 10 knots would have made these, one way or the other, on either ship would have made these two ships miss each other. Or just being, the angle of, the direction of travel would have made them miss each other. Like I said, it was a bullet with a bullet out there. 50 miles out to sea, that little bitty 6,800-ton destroyer sailing into the path. And that's the other thing, too, in this article. This is the home of the 7th Fleet. These waters are not strange waters to these ships. They sail through them all the time. They know where the shipping lanes are. They know what ship is where. No way. Absolutely no way this happens by accident. You could, honest to God, you could probably have every single sailor aboard that ship asleep. And that ship would still be able to keep itself out of harm's way. And as far as the people aboard the Philippine container ship, you know, they might have been having the same issue. They might have been having the same issue. They could have had GPS reporting them to be in the wrong place. And it wouldn't take much. It really wouldn't take much. If it said it was traveling, like I said, I discovered it, a different direction, a different speed, at a different location, even a small amount. You know, 80 or 100 feet, that's all it would take. So I don't want to belabor the point on this, but it is a terrifying new form of terrorism. And that it's happening over this close to China, I don't think is any coincidence. Because they have whined and complained and bitched about us sailing through what they call their new territorial waters in the China Sea. Now, this is a little bit farther away from it, but this might be their way of saying, hey, you know, we can do things you can't do yet. And, you know, it's a sad thing when it has to come down to this. We got 7 dead kids because 2 governments can't talk to each other about territory in an ocean that is so unbelievably big. So, all comes down to money, doesn't it? Anyway, have a great Sunday, folks. Happy Father's Day. And like, share, subscribe. See you next time. Thanks.
Well, just in case anybody is confused, that was me the day after the attack. The day after the attack. That was this video. This channel pretty much has now confirmed through investigation everything that I was speculating about the day after the attack. GPS getting monkeyed with, the Chinese, possibly an EMP mine, could be a lot of different things. But what really, like I said, if you want to come here, you want to start making videos on your own, and you want to take our information and do it to honor the sailors, by all means, please, we would love to have you. However, if you're going to pretend to be an intelligence asset or a former intelligence asset and pass yourself off on a conspiracy theory website using half-assed information that you don't even know half of what you're fucking talking about, I'm going to get a special kind of pissed off. Because those sailors deserve better. They absolutely deserve better. And I'm going to call this out. And, you know, I'm not going to make this about politics, but this will show you clearly that more than likely, had the Florida Maquis decided to bow the knee and kiss the ring of the administrator, why am I thinking that maybe InfoWars might have picked up my channel by name a lot sooner? And now we are 100 videos in. Indisputable evidence from soup to nuts. Everything that could possibly almost be covered has been covered. And finally now, 20-something minutes into, well, 17 minutes, 31 seconds into a 21-minute video, they kind of reference it, basically completely plagiarizing the channel. Not to honor the sailors. No. To foster their conspiracy theory, bullshit, deep state nonsense. And here's the thing I haven't told anybody. 99% of my videos are all monetized. I don't have any problems whatsoever. But the one that he decides to call out by name is the one I just played for you. Chinese EMP attack. U.S. Navy has a huge problem now. The day after the attack on the Fitzgerald is the one video out of all of these that no matter what I did, they demonetized. And this hasn't ever been about money. But when you look through all of the videos and all of the controversial subjects that I've talked about, I find it very strange that the one InfoWars decides that they want to talk about is this one. No coincidences, folks. So, I would provide links, but you can go to the Florida Maquis and you can look through my videos and you can go back and confirm everything I've just said. And as far as InfoWars goes, It's his most recent upload. You guys can go find it if you really want to. I'm not putting an InfoWars link in my descriptions. I have standards. So, thank you, though, to everyone who has actually supported the channel for the righteous reason of supporting the sailors. For the good and decent and honorable reason of getting justice. For 19 dead sailors. For the sailors that are going to go on trial now. Be charged, possibly jailed, for this bullshit secret that they don't want anybody to know about. I probably should leave this here before I say something I'm really going to regret. So, like, share, subscribe. God bless you all. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you.